that we should remake the movie All About Eve and star Dylan Mulvaney in it as Eve. Now, as many of you may or may not know, this is a movie about an opportunist assistant who works for Bette Davis. She's a 24-year-old, she wants to be an actress. And Bette Davis is an aging actress, aging meaning she's 36. And so this opportunist aspiring actress is fawning all over her and trying to get in her good graces to get her big break. And what ends up happening is, of course, this character has her ambition far exceeds her sense of integrity, and so she looks for ways to steal Bette Davis's boyfriend. She looks for ways to steal her role when she's being an understudy for Bette Davis. She does little, two-faced, what you would expect from somebody who will do anything, stab any back to get to the top. And I think that Dylan Mulvaney would play the hell out of this role because it's actually the role that she is playing now. Dylan Mulvaney, when he was identifying as a gay man, was constantly seeking fame, and then he stumbled upon a great way to do it is simply have the marketing buildup of day one of being a girl, and then have it lead to a one-woman show, and then basically he gets to cosplay being a woman, and which is a fun thing for him to do because he's playing that role. But then he can also have, whenever he gets feedback or criticism, he can always dismiss it as that's transphobic. Whereas many times people are bringing up that unadulterated ambition, that manipulative quality. They're actually bringing up that kind of femme fatale, dark feminine side that he has. He has that opportunist Eve quality, and so it's fascinating because he is is actually embodying that archetype, that cliche, that trope of that kind of opportunist assistant that will do anything for fame, and then is just so self-involved and what's interesting about him is it takes a turn on that genre and that character because he's got facial feminization surgery. So there's an element that those movies, it's not just All About Eve, but also Sunset Boulevard captured this. It's that kind of starlet that is so preoccupied with fame. And you have that preoccupation, like with the aging starlet in Sunset Boulevard. She's at the hope that she is going to make a comeback. She's like doing all these treatments on her face, and her face is just it's just like completely lubed up, like just complete glassy lotion face because she's anticipating that. And there's something about all those images. I'm also thinking of Mommy Dearest here, where all of those kind of that narcissistic ambition and the starlet trope, and they're doing anything for it, and it has that dark feminine quality. They're using men to get ahead. They're using others. They're using other women. They're telling lies. They're doing whatever it takes to get that fame. And then you have it's just, I feel like Dylan Mulvaney is the new version of that. What's a shame is we can't, because we have kind of deified trans people to be beyond reproach and above reproach. It's like we can't even comment on how they could play a role like that so well, and it would actually be something that people of all sides of the around would like to watch because the people who are already mad at Dylan would like to see her play that villain, and the people that are already rallying for her and kind of having those patronizing empowerment, like, you look so beautiful, girl, they would love it too. And so it's actually, that's the way to make money off of this. Like, forget the brands, forget the sponsorships, forget all of this kind of pandering and kind of this bullshit. Just put her in that role that's already playing to that shadow and to that extreme ambition and starlet ambition at that. And actually, that's the way to make money off of Dylan Mulvaney. Like, put her in a remake of All About Eve. And then it also even encapsulates the kind of fight of women. An aging starlet is, for instance, maybe very, she's real, like Betty Davis. She's realizing, oh, I'm at the end of this. I have this new little plucky assistant. The plucky assistant, though, is a man who has transitioned into a woman, and there's this kind of extra layer of that older woman hating that this person is able to kind of, in a way, woman face and get tons more than she can. And the power of thinking about the fact that a man is now woman facing and having more power in the world than a woman, a biological woman, and playing with that. Like, how else are we going to be able to talk about the complexities and nuances of this fight if we don't put it in a movie that really encapsulates it and actually would completely win awards, because it's actually giving trans women humanity, and it's playing into that Dylan's ambition and kind of her trope and character anyway, and it's allowing for us to have the conversation instead of just immediately shutting it down and saying, well, that was transphobic because you went against the doctrine. You dared ask a question or made a challenge that went against our specific script, which is, you are beautiful, Dylan. You are wonderful. We love you. Like, anything outside of that, like if a woman says, well, if this trans woman is getting all these sponsorships ahead of women, can we have the conversation about how a man who still has his bulge is getting all these opportunities, and Nike, Ulta, Bud Light, there's just so many different sponsorships, book deals, so many different things Dylan Mulvaney's getting, and let's have a way of talking about it that gets right at it. Let's put her in a remake of All About Eve. I think it would be really interesting. I think it would be. I mean, when you have a tough time talking about something, the way to bring it to attention is just to lean right into the shadow of it, lean right into the role, because that gets us, everyone on all sides could really have an interesting conversation and watch that movie, and a lot could happen from it, but nothing happens from us being in this weird moral rigidity where you're allowed to say XYZ, and if you don't stay on script, then you're out. You're instantly transphobic. That puts a binary of good versus evil, and I thought we were done with binaries. So let's add that nuance.